Welcome to another episode of the 24Astro podcast. I want to do a update on where I'm at when it comes to this channel and my own journey with astrology. So for around 4 months or so, I've been super immersed in creating a digital space where I can expand beyond this channel. So I started this channel around 2.5 years ago when I was just experiencing a lot of confusion and insecurity around my path. I knew that I wanted to do YouTube, but it was so intimidating for me. So I have a stellium in the 5th house and also Saturn there. And around my Saturn return is when I started to really face this limitation. And something happened in my life. I don't have to go into details. I think I have mentioned this before somewhere. I don't know where, but it made me have, or I came to a feeling almost like hitting rock bottom, and I felt like, okay, I will try to do YouTube. So I started to do YouTube with astrology because that had been my major focus, and I felt so much passion and excitement around this new world and new concept. And it was around my Saturn return. So I started naturally to want to dive into this world more. So I did a video where I talked about my Saturn return. And that was a very short one. I just filmed, just like spontaneously, I just filmed and uploaded it. And it didn't feel that big of a deal. I just did it. And then I got the feeling that I wanted to do more videos on astrology because I felt like I do have a kind of a different take on astrology, and I feel like I've merged a lot of different teachings and so on. So I felt like I wanted to express it. And even though I felt super uncomfortable and so scared, and I felt this Chiron Virgo wound of not being correct and being insecure of how, like, what if I'm wrong? What if, like, all of the projections? That really censored me, but I still did it anyway. And it has been so healing and fun to do that. Even though it's, of course, been uncomfortable as well, I've noticed such big difference in my self-expression, both on YouTube, if I reflect on how it was to film in the beginning, how strong the censorship was when I talked up until this point. I really feel like I come into my own trust when it comes to how I express myself. And I love that journey, and I love that this journey is recorded. I can just imagine looking back at this in a few years, and I love the concept of things being recorded and frozen in time. It's so beautiful. But then I also developed in my creative direction. I feel like YouTube is like a very beautiful way of reaching people and having people find you when it matches their journey. And that's also something that I loved for my own development. When I was a teenager, I was on YouTube all day, all night. And I got so much medicine out of just witnessing people, and I didn't even, like, I watched people that did just entertainment or vlogging, and it was so healing. And I just love this collective digital space so much. And with astrology, I feel like it's such a deep level of exploration. And having my own, not just my evolution when it comes to self-expression being recorded and frozen in time, and then being able to witness the difference between now and then. I also love that my own journey to astrology has evolved and it deepens, and that is also frozen in time. So I hope that if you are in the same space of maybe you've been dabbling in astrology for a while, and you know how much it lands differently after a while, and you understand it differently. You understand it more intuitively. You also get that feeling of how astrology can just integrate into your psyche with time. And I like that a lot. Like like is not a good enough word. I love, that is the word. I love how my also understanding of astrology has deepened, and that also is frozen in time here on this channel. And I noticed that I got so much inspiration when it came to different areas. So I think the first thing that awoken in me was that the Scorpio archetype is so deep that I felt like I could not get enough information in a video on YouTube. So if you check the videos I have on Scorpio, the first one is like 25 minutes and the second one is half an hour. And I felt in that video, or in both of them, I felt like it was so much information that I got stressed. I couldn't relax because it was so much I wanted to say. And I felt that people commented, and I felt like I wanted to give more on this. I wanted to just direct my focus more on this to awaken more. Because it's always been like that. If you focus on something, it comes towards you. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to really go into something in astrology and have it be awakened and really process it. So an idea formed in my mind that I wanted to create a space where I could put a lot of effort, a lot of attention on one specific goal, one specific target, and just live the archetype of that astrology sign or house or whatever it was, and just integrate it, both for my own sake but also for someone to experience that as well. And by more than just a video or a few videos, I wanted to include different modalities. I wanted to include like breathwork, meditations, prompts, like exercises. I wanted to do it all, so it becomes heightened, because astrology can be so powerful when we have a holistic approach to it, when we use it with depth. So I got this idea or vision that I wanted to. So if you check the website that I have now for 24Astro, it's going to be down below. You can see the first page of that website. That was the vision that I got. That was exactly like I wanted it to be the logo at the top, and then the story background be the center of it, kind of like the backdrop of the entire platform. So that was the picture I got, and then I just dove into it. I started to make the website, and it kind of grew and evolved in its own way of how I wanted it to be integrated. And now at this point there's 2 modules, because my real longing is to have a space that goes beyond YouTube. That's not just one video, but it is this immersive, that's the word I'm looking for, immersive experience of going into astrology. and it being deeper than YouTube. So the first thing that I created was Scorpio Rising Survival Kit, because I felt like it was so deep, the teachings for the archetype of Scorpio. And it's really not just for Scorpio Rising. I would say it's even more for people with strong Scorpio placements, or even someone with a very strong Pluto in their chart. And I just that took kind of a long time, because it was so like heavy, such heavy material to go through. And I even did that 7 Deadly Sins, which was the initial inspiration why I even wanted to have a platform like that. And that I still have so much gratitude for myself for going through that, because the 7 deadly sins I realized are so important, and I still reflect a lot on pride. I still reflect a lot of greed. I reflect on it a lot. So that's really been a very deep thing that I could have done. I am so grateful that I did that. And then it came out, like I went through a lot of different topics regarding the archetype of Scorpio. And it was a way for me to integrate what I've been searching or like researching for a long time, trying to understand my own nature, and like creating that experience, creating that space, had me go through the topics to a very deep level. And like I mentioned in the Scorpio rising videos, that your rising sign is your ego. It is kind of like your soul's intent on how your persona is showing up in the world, how you experience yourself. And since it's such an important piece, since we can have a lot of consciousness regarding this because we are familiar with this persona archetype, if you do your Scorpio well and not in the shadow sides, meaning you're not in the unconscious just reacting to your outside environment, but you are more choosing the meaningful aspects of Scorpio and transcending the shadows, then you have much easier time going towards your sun sign, which is your most important placement in your chart. It's your life force energy, the middle point of your solar system. It's much easier to go through the rest of your chart. And of course, we have different placements that are super important depending on the rest of your chart, and your north node is super important, of course, but the rising sign to get some elevated consciousness of what the shadows are and what the gifts are really help you to grow up emotionally. So I wanted to do this for myself, and to then also be able to present it as an experience, because I know that I would want to have something like this. So it was really like a pleasure to do that. And after I did that, because it felt like I was leading myself through this beautiful creational process of, it was just like sacred play, it felt like. And I do realize that this is my 5th house stellium, like I want a container to play with in order to channel my gifts. So after I've completed that process, I wanted to go straight into creating more, having more on the platform. And I wanted to go into the feminine journey through the stars, which was a download that I had in the beginning when I started this channel, that you could understand your feminine journey through certain psychological archetypes in your chart. I have an old video on that, And it's kind of like when I said that, when I got that information, like it felt so true. And I made that video, and afterwards I felt insecure because I felt like I haven't heard people say this directly, but it stuck to me, and I felt like this is true, and this is what I wanted to integrate for my own sake, for my own coming into age kind of like evolution, for my own sake. But I realized that afterwards, when I've done the Scorpio module, I felt like some resistance towards going that way. And it kind of emerged that I wanted to do a Chiron course as I was doing the Scorpio rising one, that I felt like it would be super good to do a Chiron course as well. And that's funny thing is that it just also kind of like happened by itself, that I felt like, okay, I will create the Chiron course and I can do it later, maybe after the feminine journey through the stars. But then it just kept coming up, this inspiration, and I kept on being directed that way, and I super easily just got inspired to film some things, and then it kind of shifted the focus and I started to do that instead. And that was also a very beautiful journey, and I realized that I love so much to create that kind of like experience for someone in the digital space. It's been so rewarding, and I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of the co-creation, and I'm grateful for being a part of them also. So I'm super excited about this newfound like sacred play. And also on the side, while I'm creating these types of modules that are available to experience, and you can get them personalized by having your placements be analyzed through the material. I have that on the website, but also I have readings available, and as you get the readings, you get the audio files delivered directly to your account on the website as an audio file. And you can also, before I do the readings, choose which house system that you use so that you get your interpretation correctly, like you usually read your chart. So it's such a beautiful thing now, and I realized that I do felt this kind of like guilt that I hadn't uploaded so much on YouTube, because I am very grateful for the people that feel resonance to my words and my videos. But to honor myself and my own creation or creative process, I think I need to focus my attention on the website right now, because as I'm doing these processes, I'm also leveling up my own astrology accuracy and also my intuition. So I feel like this is now a space of me going into like my Mercury retrograde kind of just own exploration that I film in a cocoon and then present as the module to experience. And I'm going to do that and follow that intuitive hit for as long as I feel. And then when I feel done with that, I might pop back into YouTube and create. I do have gotten some inspirational things for YouTube, and I will film that when I do feel like I have capacity. But for now, my main focus will be on the enjoyment of the module creations, because that is what I need to do to honor myself. And I've learned this the hard way for these past years, that I need to create for my own sake. Otherwise, I am just people pleasing and things go terribly wrong. So yeah, this is a lesson that I had to integrate. But even though I wanted to come in here and give a small update on this, so you know where I'm at emotionally I'm still very deep in astrology, contemplating and analyzing and doing shadow work on my astrology placements all the time, and going into these spaces of concentrated focus on the archetypes in astrology, and producing in the container of the modules. So yeah, this is where I'm at the moment, and it can shift, but for now I feel super passionate about these modules and the website, and it feels very fun and light and rewarding. And eventually, when I feel like I've done what I needed to do, then something else will happen, probably. But for now, I'm very grateful for these inspirational hits. So I hope you are well, and I will see you soon. Thank you for listening.